It is the Riot podcast. Happy Tuesday, March 22nd, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday to RadioU. We are the Riot on RadioU. I know there's a lot of podcast listeners that just think we're a podcast, but we are the morning show on RadioU, and today it's RadioU's birthday, so we have cake.
We should look up when the podcast started.
Oh,
like when it
that's
became a thing, a part of RadioU.
Do you know the podcast used to be once a week? Do you know
Really?
that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then,
I used to do that.
And then we were like, oh, can we do it each day?
Here, just give Hudson way more work.
That's right.
How about that?
Yeah.
Increase his workload by 5 times.
It was a question on like, would people enjoy having a daily podcast?
The answer was no, but we did it anyways.
The answer was yes. You guys always love more podcast.
Well, what's even in the show today? I don't remember.
Well, I'm like sniffing the cake as we speak right now.
Yeah.
And we did like the fundraiser, like food etiquette break. But afterwards, Hudson was like, he kind of pouted for a second. He was like, there's so many more things I wanted to talk about, but we got stuck on the cake thing.
Oh, we never did. We talked about some of the problems we might have here in a group setting when there's group food.
I just think lots of people have different beliefs as we learned in just the brief time we talked about it. There's different beliefs, different ways that people think you should act when there's community food to be shared. Mm-hmm. Some people just go all in. It's like, why should I come back for seconds? I'll just take all that I want now. Then everybody else. You think that's the worst?
When people do that. I hate it.
What's the worst? So we had a meeting a few weeks ago, and we had pizza.
Oh,
and
yeah, we did.
I felt that I went back for seconds of that pizza about 5 times.
Literally, yeah.
Because I never wanted to take too much in any one individual time. But then it's like, look at Hudson. He's taking like 10 slices of pizza. I don't know how many I actually took, but I did go back several times.
But if you go,
were you guys judging me when I did that?
No, but if you take too much in the beginning, then there's not enough options for everybody. Because we had that issue because it came with chicken wings.
Yes,
and I felt
the
like
wings.
We didn't get as many wings. Like we all wanted to go back for that.
I only got one of those wings.
Well, that's really, I say that's on Pizza Hut for not giving us the wing to pizza ratio in those boxes. It's not right. It's not enough for when you're buying a box for a group. Mm-hmm. They give you enough wings for like 2 people. They give you enough pizza for like 5.
Well, it goes into etiquette for the cake, for our RadioU birthday cake, which if you want to join us at RadioU Official on Instagram, you can see it there in the stories. Outside of that, then we also found out that there's some differences on people with cake on if you keep the birthday candles or not. And that becomes a bit of a topic.
That is, it's a question that I didn't know needed to be asked. And I didn't know that I am the only one that has a different answer than everybody else.
I still want you to talk to your mom and figure out how it was.
You need to clear that up with her.
Yeah, see how it was when you were younger.
Well, I'm my own person now. I've been out of the house for
a few years,
so I've had enough time to save candles if I wanted to. I've been through several birthdays, and it's never come up of, hey, should we save these? But apparently for everybody else, that's not even a question. It's just like, yeah, you save the candles. What if you need them again?
You have your Ziploc baggie full of old candles.
The little candles. Do you use like this? Because I always grew up use the number ones. Have you guys always used like the singles or the numbers?
Depends.
Sometimes you had a combination.
Yeah, the combination of the numbers and singles.
One time, a recent birthday, I guess it was probably my wife's, and it was my mother-in-law got the candles. She bought them on Amazon. Mm-hmm. You've ever seen these ones? You can't reuse them. She got them from China. You light it, and then it like opens up and plays a song, but it's just a candle. One? Yeah, it's actually pretty cool, but it was a little scary actually. It just keeps spinning. It was like, how's it still going? We blew out the candle.
You're having to drown it and hope it just dies.
Right.
It's like the ones that like you like can't blow out. Have you ever seen those ones where people try to blow them?
People love giving those to me for some reason.
Oh, you've had that before?
Yeah.
Really? I've never gotten the opportunity to try to blow it out.
Most of the time you had one birthday when someone brought that to you and tried to prank you with it.
It's the best when it's unexpected. So
that way you can spit all over the cake.
So Isaiah, we're definitely not going to do that for your birthday.
What? I can't wait for my birthday.
We now have a no candle like rule here because we don't want to upset Hudson.
Little does he know we've been saving candles here for years.
We also don't need people spitting on the cake, as Isaiah just noted.
True.
But we could do that thing where I remember back at the beginning of COVID, it was like a mind blower for some people. They saw that instead of blowing out the candle, you should just swing your hand over the candles real
That's
quick.
not the same.
No, but
Your wish
it's a
will not come true
sanitary
if
thing
you
to
do
do.
that.
It's a sanitary thing to
Your
do.
wish won't come
My wish
true.
never came true anyways.
That or you hold the candle to the side, and then that's how you could blow it out.
You could do it that way too. But if you're just swinging at the candle, you got to blow on that thing if you want it to happen. If you want your wish to come true.
Make sure you join us and tell us which side you're on when you hear it. You'll definitely hear us talk about the birthday candles. You're welcome to text us anytime at 877-2-RADIO-U. And like I mentioned, join us at Radio U Official on Instagram for our birthday celebration today.
There's other stuff in the podcast, but we've already talked too long.
Too much?
So
Wait, let's blow out this candle.
all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Bye,
Catch you next
everybody.
time.
See you guys.
We've done you a favor by selecting the best of the worst and compiling it all in one place. Riot Podcast Radio U.
You know Kylie Jenner, right?
Yes.
You know Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott had a baby recently.
Yes, we don't want to know, but anytime we try to find any news outside of them, it's hard because they dominate the news selections.
Did you know? I didn't know. I didn't know she had a baby.
Oh, you didn't?
Now
Well,
she has 2 kids.
Yeah, she had 2.
And one is newborn.
Yeah.
His name was Wolf.
Uh-huh.
Now no longer.
Oh, she changed the name?
Well, I guess I just made it sound like he died. No, yes, their son is still alive, and his name was Wolf, and they've decided to change it.
Wolf just didn't really work anymore?
That's what she said. She said she just doesn't feel like a wolf.
Oh.
Probably not hairy enough.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So they are now that he's, I don't know exactly how old he is, but he's at least a month old.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've decided that they were calling him Wolf for a while. Not going to work. So I guess he won't remember. He won't know. So it's not going to be, not a lot of issues for the child formerly known as Wolf.
Just, with all the Kardashian machine that is,
Yeah.
I think that if brought up later in his little life, there's other stuff.
What do you mean?
Meaning, like, if he has a tough time about his name.
Oh, yeah.
There's also
he
just
might
a
have
tough,
an identity crisis, mean?
Just with being in that, machine.
Yeah. Maybe, what if he is older and I don't know, they have not revealed what name they're giving to him instead. Mm-hmm. But what if he gets older and then one day he reads the stories about how his name initially was Wolf and he's like, I think I like Wolf better.
Oh, he wants to go
it's
back?
a pretty cool name, isn't it?
It is.
So that would be pretty cool to have as your identity, and it's not even like you chose it, but then now it would be like he chose it even though he didn't choose it initially.
I don't know. It feels like that would have been a good nickname too, but just not like legally your name. So you kind of play around with it.
So
You want to be Wolf Hudson?
Ooh, yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
It's the riot with Wolf and
It's
Nikki.
just hard to be.
I don't know if I like that.
It's hard to be, even though he's not like that famous. I just feel like anybody has a hard time taking on the name Wolf because of that news guy, Wolf Blitzer.
Oh, never thought of it.
You never thought of that at all?
Never thought of him.
Well, that is probably. Can you imagine a cooler name than Wolf Blitzer?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe
That's not his real name, right? He chose that when he's decided to be a newscaster, and you're a broadcaster. You can kind of choose your name.
I'm not sure. I'm not as from I know who that is.
Yeah.
But I'm not familiar with a lot of the details around.
I don't
him.
know what channel he's on now, but he used to be on CNN, and he'd be in the Situation Room. He'd be like, "This is Wolf Blitzer, and this
Is he still
is a situation."
alive?
Yeah, he's still alive.
I'm just checking.
Come on.
Why are you acting like that's wrong to question?
He's not that old.
He's 74.
That's not that old.
Is it?
I think I'm offended on behalf of Wolf Blitzer for you. For what you just said. Is he still alive?
I'm just asking. I can't remember anything about him.
He had a cool name. What else do you need to know?
Yeah, that's what he's excited to hear his career is based on.
Can you imagine how things would be different if maybe it is his real name? If his parents chose a different name for him, he probably wouldn't be he'd just be another newscaster.
I think it is. His full name is Wolf Isaac Blitzer.
That's amazing.
All right. Well, we went from a baby wolf to
Yeah.
a 74-year-old
Yeah.
wolf. And if there's anybody named that in between.
This isn't even what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to just say that I think it's a good idea. I think you should be able to change babies' names after you get to meet them. Because how are you supposed to know who they are before they come out?
Sure.
So I think she's doing the right thing.
Thanks again, Wolf.
I just wish she knew. I just think you can't change Wolf unless the kid's just a big wimp or something. I don't know.
Would Hudson and Nikki's celebrity couple nickname be Hucky or Nidson? It's a good thing they aren't together. The Riot, Radio U.
So there's cake, right?
Yes, we can bring it out from the fridge, and I think we can maybe eat it this morning.
Yeah.
We can maybe eat it.
Like I think if we just take a picture
Is that what it's
first-
for?
It is.
Is it for eating?
But sometimes you're hesitant to be the first cake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the one to cut into it. But if one of you two want to lead the way,
See, that's something I want to talk to you guys about. We have the birthday cake today. The fundraiser starts tomorrow. That means we're going to have a bunch of shared food.
Yeah.
Where we all have to get along with it. And I just think we need to hash some things out so that we all are on the same playing field when it comes to
For the
sharing
fundraiser food?
Yeah. Because some of it is ordered individually, which is
Yeah.
very nice. But a lot of it, like, what are you going to order pizza individually? No, we got to share the pizza.
if
So I
they
got a
did,
few
though,
questions.
how awesome would that be?
Oh, you each get your
So
own
great.
personal pizza.
Here's your large pizza. Here's your large.
You just know it wouldn't be big enough, though.
Are you just worried someone's going to cut something at the wrong angle
Are you
Actually,
want
again?
to
know
get any
what?
food or what?
That is an issue that I'm concerned about, especially because we talked about the previous cake, the cake we had from a few days ago, and which we don't usually have cake here.
It sounds like we have cake a lot.
It's been a
yeah,
while.
it's
When
here
was-
all the time.
When was the last time we had
We
a
have
cake?
It feels like once a month there's cake in this place.
Well, we
That's
we
had
not
had cake
that
on
often.
Friday. We had it on Friday.
We had Radio UTV cake not too long ago in February. That might be what you're
Birthday
remembering.
cake.
Okay, so in both that cake and then in the cake on Friday, people are just taking forks and just sticking them in the cake
Yep.
and taking a bite out of the cake.
That's
Yep.
wrong. I took a spoon and did that. Not
It
a
doesn't
fork.
matter
Oh, I
what
did a fork.
utensil you use.
I did it for.
I cannot abide by.
What's the point?
Why?
I mean, why
What do you
not?
mean?
We're all trying to stay healthy.
I didn't double dip back in it. You
Yeah,
just take the
exactly.
spoon and you take a large chunk out of it, and that's it.
Yeah, but then it makes it a weird shape for the next person.
Who cares what the shape is? No, we don't finish the cake ever anyway. It always gets thrown away at the end, and so it doesn't matter what
We
shape
finished
it
the
ends
cake
in.
we had on Friday. It's already gone.
I thought there was a couple pieces left in there. Somebody ate those yesterday.
Yeah, I think they're gone.
Who ate them?
I had
Not
one
me.
of them. I had in that entire
Okay.
cake. I had one piece.
I think I had like half a piece.
Well, we used a
was it.
lot of that cake on people's faces.
I think
That's what I was counting.
we only get so much cake at a certain time of the year because again, it's Radio U's birthday today, so we have a rather large cake that's waiting for us. But outside that, we don't get too much. So I think you're majoring on the cake problem.
Yeah.
I think we have plenty of opportunity for other food problems.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you guys going to start ripping off with just a chunk of pizza and leaving the rest of the slice?
If it works out, yeah.
What?
Eat half the piece of pizza. I mean, that's what we do with everything apparently here. Pop-Tarts are cut in half. We're just having one Pop-Tart. There's Rice Krispie treats that people have taken like 2 bites of and they just leave it there as
The
if somebody else
donuts
wants that.
have like a little piece left over and the whole
Yes,
box
the
is still there.
donuts.
So-
yeah, this is what makes us special. This is just our quirks.
So I don't know why it's okay to not do the Pop-Tart thing. You can't. The Pop-Tarts. There's 2 Pop-Tarts in a pack. Honestly, that's just a failure on Pop-Tarts. Sometimes you only need one. You're trying to stay healthy. You're trying to watch your waistline.
Smart,
But
okay.
it's okay to take one bite of a cake and just leave the rest of the
It's-
piece of cake.
Yes.
It's so different though, baby, because we're putting the cake back into the container where it'll be sealed again.
It's
You
never
just
sealed. The cake is not sealed.
You left the Pop-Tart just to stale, just right in the middle of the room.
Yeah,
That
but
was
I know
different.
if I put it in a plastic baggie, nobody would want it either.
Ah, well, that's okay. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
All right, well, Isaiah, I need you to go in and get the cake, and I want you to take a big piece and just cut diagonal.
Diagonal across.
Just make it
Or
really
just start
obnoxious.
forking it this morning before
Yes.
everybody else can have some.
If you
Yeah, why
don't
don't we
mind
do
doing
that?
that
Instead of cutting up the cake? How about you just stick fork, make it all into individual fork-sized bites?
You could
Can we
still
do that?
the cup technique. Remember, you take a cup and then
Yeah.
you.
No, I hate that. That's worse than the fork thing.
The cup's worse than the fork?
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
You can't have circular pieces of a square cake.
I didn't know this bugs you so
That
much.
leaves wasted cake.
I think it's okay.
I just don't want like that big of a piece, you know. I just want like a little bite. I just want a little taste of
Little
flavor,
nibble.
and then come back, and then maybe a little later I want another bite. But the whole big
Then why
thing
don't
feels like a
you
big
take
commitment.
a piece of cake and then just eat one bite when you want it?
Oh, because I don't want to waste it at the end. I'm not going to finish the whole piece. I don't want to eat that many calories, Hudson. Come on, let us all just have a bite at a time. And then when we end up eating more than one piece, it doesn't feel as bad because it was all one at a time.
Just add a little spoonful.
This isn't even. We haven't even scratched the surface of the other things I wanted to deal with.
Would Hudson and Nikki's celebrity couple nickname be Hucky, or Nidson. It's a good thing they aren't together. The Riot, Radio U.
A school district in Colorado, Cherry Creek School District, they've announced that they are not going to be giving away the valedictorian recognition.
Oh, they're not?
They're not going to be doing that going forward. Well, because they don't want to single out anybody. And they say, here's a quote from the school district. "We believe all students can learn at high levels, and learning is not a competition."
Well,
is
that's
an excerpt.
That's not how my school's treated it.
No.
I mean,
does that mean your school was wrong?
No, I think that, for some people, they especially loved to have the goal of valedictorian.
Yeah.
So that was a big driving factor towards them working super hard.
Uh-huh.
The rest of us didn't really care.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So we didn't need to worry about it. So it's not like it was affecting everybody.
Yeah.
It was really just we all had those couple of classmates. Mm-hmm. I had the one.
The tryhards.
Dude, he was so excited that he never missed a day of school. And the rest of us were like, will you just be quiet about it?
He was probably always raising his hand.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he always wanted to have the answer. He was correcting the teacher even.
No, every moment of the day he was like, yeah, I haven't missed any day since before, the whole entire school career, even in elementary school.
Oh, my gosh.
And we're like, man, I'd pay to get out today.
Yeah, get a load of that guy. Well, yeah, see,
and I think he was valedictorian.
I obviously, I did not go to public school. I was homeschooled, so I don't have a lot of expertise or experience being in the classroom where if somebody was going to be recognized as a valedictorian, would that make me feel bad? I don't have firsthand experience, but why would it? Why?
But that was you.
Even if I was, I guess I was.
You were valedictorian.
Why didn't I add that on my college applications and stuff? It would have been. See, that's why I think that's another reason why I don't think I'm very comfortable with this, because any kind of award recognition type thing that you can add on to any application, resume, or whatever. I mean, a lot of people probably don't care. It's just something you put on there. But some places, it's good to see that you are at the top of your class, and you can actually have a specific way to denote that. So it's hard for me to imagine anybody in school feeling bad about somebody else doing great.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you. I feel like, again, for valedictorian, if you were trying really hard and that's what you wanted to be, for most people, why not recognize you worked harder than me? Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to do it.
It gives some people something to work towards, and the rest of us, it's not like if you're just doing enough to get by in school, you're not going to be like, well, if I can't make valedictorian, then I guess I'm just not going to learn at all.
Well, again, they say we believe all students can learn at high levels. I don't want to be high. Learning is not a competition. I didn't think it was anyways.
Yeah.
And
it's fine because I would lose.
I would lose, and I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
They say they're labeling it unfair and an empty woke gesture.
If you're looking for diet motivation, you won't find it here. The Riot, Radio U.
Wish us a happy birthday, or you could just text it in too, because it is Radio U's birthday as a station, as a company, as a business. We're still going strong after all these years, and you can help out with that during the fundraiser, which starts tomorrow.
And I really need to go get our birthday cake from out of the fridge.
Yeah.
You know how you want it to warm up a little bit?
Uh-huh.
You don't want it straight out of the fridge?
Yeah.
I feel like we need a little warming up time for the icing.
Closer to room temperature.
Exactly. So that's the plan. So someone remind me when we're done talking.
Yeah. All right. We'll go do it. Do we have candles?
Like to sing happy birthday?
Yeah.
Now that
you want to
seems
do that on the air? Sing on the air?
I don't know. Does that seem like too much work?
I don't know. I love singing.
You do?
So,
you do?
Yeah.
How do you want to sing it as? What's your approach or your take on it?
I don't know. I just kind of let it come as I just got to feel it.
Feel it in the moment?
Yeah.
See, I feel like you do something like jazzy, old school style.
Oh, yeah?
Or you were saying you were watching West Side Story the other day. Maybe a bit like a musical?
Oh, I don't know about that. There's a lot of different musicals out there, and some of them are more fun than others.
Sure.
And so maybe I could take the fun musical approach, but I don't know if I'm, as great as I am as a singer, as a songbird. I'm not as much I'm not a lyricist.
Sure.
I'm not a composer like Lin-Manuel Miranda. So I don't know how much you're expecting of me.
No, what you should do is we don't talk about the birthday cake.
Sure.
We could just totally change up some other song and just take it from there.
That's it's an idea. I don't know. We'll have to see. Once the cake is here and the candles are lit and the mics go on, that might be a different story.
Now, I love your idea. I don't know if we have candles. And I'm not sure where the lighter is. So
that's probably good that we don't have a lighter just sitting around.
I know. All I can guarantee you is that I'll bring in the cake and that's it.
All right. With the candles, what do you do when you're done with them?
Usually, it depends on what type of candles. If they're nicer ones, then I usually just wash it off and put in a bag.
You save them?
Oh, yeah.
You save candles?
Why not? If it's the number one or the a sparkle one. You could just totally use it again the next year. Why are you looking at me like that's crazy?
What do you mean?
Who hasn't reused
They're
birthday
not that
candles?
expensive.
I know, but I care about our earth, and I don't want those in the landfill. What are you talking about?
Why don't you just let them keep burning then?
Well, I don't burn them to the ground.
Why not?
Because then
that's what they're meant for, right?
No, because then they melt all over the cake, and I don't like that.
Well, yeah, you don't do it on the cake. Just set it out on the sidewalk or something. Then everybody knows.
This is what you throw away. Candles.
So you put them in water and then you save them.
Yeah, I save them.
That's the craziest thing. I've never heard of anybody saving birthday candles.
I cannot be the only one. And you know why?
You're probably not.
The biggest reason is because I never remember when it's someone's birthday to buy the candles.
Yeah.
So this way you have a backup in case you forget.
I just get a thing of the generic ones and then you're always good to go because you get a million of them and you only need to put 5 on a cake. So you're good. You're just fine. They're cheap. You don't need to save them.
Well,
and they're wax. They're not bad for the environment, I don't think.
Hudson, I'm sorry we're all not as rich as you in candles.
Right.
Okay, and I like to use things. And I don't want to overspend on birthday candles.
See, I thought you were the minimalist, that you clean out anything that doesn't spark joy. And the candles are sparking joy for you.
I keep them.
Previously used birthday candles.
Never mind. I think we found something
I just meant, how do you
on.
put them out? Because I know some people are kind of more strict about making sure they're extinguished. And so they'll set them in a cup, make sure they're in the sink, and just leave them there for a whole day before they throw them out. And I'm just once you wave it out or whatever, then it's fine.
No, they could always re-spark again. Just want to be careful.
They can?
Yeah.
I've never had that happen.
Dude, I had a neighbor. It was fireworks, but he put the ashes away and he thought they were all out and they went in his trash can. House on fire.
Really?
Yep. They were out for a year because they had to rebuild the house.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't mess around with candles.
I don't know. Maybe I don't have I probably don't have. The fire marshal would be very upset.
I know,
with
disappointed in you.
With my candle disposal.
Well, either way, happy birthday.
But at least I actually dispose of them.
To Radio U. Make sure you say happy birthday at Radio U Official. Or if you reuse your candles too, text 877 to Radio U and say, I'm with you, Nikki. And Hudson, you don't know what you're talking about.
It sounds like these two need to do a little less TikToking and a little more tick listening. The Riot with Nikki and Hudson. Radio U.
The question was, I asked Nikki, when you're done with the birthday candles, what do you do with them?
I shocked you by saying I keep the candles.
Yeah, I just meant, how do you put them out? How long do you wait before you throw them in the garbage?
No, you put them in
your
a bag.
answer was several years, evidently.
Yes, you always have a little stash of birthday candles.
So I want to ask, a lot of people have chimed in the text.
Oh, you struck a chord.
I did. Isaiah, do you save the birthday candles after one use or throw them away?
I don't even know the last time I ever even put birthday candles on a cake. I would say. So in my house, we don't have any. There's no birthday candles. No, we can't afford them. So there's no birthday candles in my house.
Yeah.
If they started paying me more at Radio U, then I could buy birthday candles to be able to put on my cake.
Well, did you, as growing up, your mom...
We had the ones that were the numbers, they had the numbers. So obviously you save those.
What do you mean, obviously?
Obviously you save, the number ones, you would just go, when it was your birthday, you would go in the cabinet and they would be like, oh, there's a 2 here, and we have a 4, and we have a 6, and we have an 8, and you would kind of just put it together. So when you turn 15, you always had the number you needed.
Mm-hmm.
This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
What did you do, the single ones? Because obviously you're not going to save the single candles.
No, people
You save
do.
those too?
Obviously,
People do. The
it's not
nicer
obvious.
ones.
Nothing is obvious with birthday candles is the only thing that's obvious to me.
Let's say you went through and the candle's gone through 2 or 3 birthdays. It's getting low. Yeah, you toss that out.
I think it makes sense. Yeah.
2 or 3.
Yeah. Listen, Dawn says, I've never known anyone to not reuse the candles. Apparently, Hudson runs in fancier circles.
Oh.
Tim says, always saved candles. Leah says, I'm pretty sure I have some previously used number candles in the drawer right now. Happy birthday, Radio U. And then Ashley says, my entire childhood, every birthday candle came from the Ziploc baggie.
Oh, my gosh.
Of
Yeah.
reused
Did you guys?
candles.
I
That
didn't
makes
know we had
sense.
such a big following of people that live with dirt floors as well. Like, what the?
Well, like it's
I
like
thought
a candle. Like, you know, like it's supposed to, like you're supposed to burn it down. So what do you?
If
you
it's
just
a
buy-
regular candle that smells, not if it's a birthday
it's
candle.
made of the exact same thing. It's the
I'm just
exact
saying,
same thing.
I don't think I need to prove my I've been poor and saved money in ridiculous ways bona fides. I've definitely done that. But I think I've done everything that I thought I had done everything that was considered crazy to save money.
See, I don't think
Saving money on birthday candles.
You're getting it wrong, though. We never saved candles to save money.
Then
It's just
what's the
because
point?
you would always forget and
To
you
buy
needed
'em.
to have backup
Yeah.
candles.
What do you mean?
Who remembers to buy candles?
If you can't remember to buy candles, how are you remembering to buy anything else?
Oh yeah,
I
because
can't.
candles are one of those things. It's like, wow, like if I don't have candles today, what are we gonna do?
What are we going to do?
You don't know when you're buying the cake to
Hey,
buy candles?
We
with
got them
it?
at the house, baby.
Why don't you talk to your mom? Okay, that's what this is coming down to. Talk to your mom. Did she save
She
them?
probably did save
She
candles.
probably
She just
saved-
didn't
not.
know.
Probably
She
did. Mm-hmm.
not. Nobody. I mean, I can't say nobody saves candles. I just think, wouldn't you? I don't understand why you guys aren't like offended if you wheeled out a birthday cake. And I'm like, hey,
You
I
get
think
the
I've seen
baggie
those
of
candles
candles.
before.
Yeah.
Weren't we those used on Johnny's birthday?
You'd be fine
5
with it.
years ago?
Patrick just texted in, must be nice, Hudson.
Must be
You're
nice.
too fancy.
You know what? We use those for our younger brother's birthday. I don't want those same candles on my cake. Buy me some new ones.
Now everybody's talking. You guys say it's not to save money. Everybody else seems to make it sound like I'm rich for buying candles. You know you can get them at the dollar store.
Well, you sound kind of privileged when you say, well, I don't want the candles that were on my brother's birthday.
Is this candle privilege?
I want my own candles.
Let's see. Josh says we have one special candle that everyone in the family uses every birthday.
My
birthday
God.
candle.
I'm sorry you've fallen on such hard times, John.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
Do we want to talk football, or you want to keep talking about how I'm rich and privileged for buying new candles every year?
I think we're going to put the candles to the side because not one person has agreed with you.
We have to let that go. We can't let him annoy that many people
No,
live on air. We have to let it go.
It's frustrating, and I'm just going to be praying for Hudson that he changes.
What do you want me to change? I
Hey,
just don't understand.
It's okay.
You're just confused.
It's all right. Thanks to Andy.
Think about how much money I could be saving.
He said, happy birthday, Radio U. Today is Radio U's birthday. Make sure you say happy birthday. Join us at Radio U Official on Instagram and like our posts there.
I've got a guy here. I bet you I don't know. Apparently nobody stops with the candle thing. They all save them. No matter how much money you make, unless you're me. But this guy makes enough money, he could buy candles.
Anytime, any day.
Matt Ryan. He has been the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons for his entire career. His 15-year career. He's been the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons until yesterday when he was traded to the Indianapolis Colts in the latest quarterback domino to fall. And this is unique. We're talking about it even though it doesn't directly affect either of our teams, Isaiah's Browns or my Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Neither are directly affected, but it is big news
Because he played with Atlanta his whole career?
Yeah, it's for a lot of, I mean, he's pretty good, which is why somebody's trading to try to get him. It's also interesting because he makes a lot of money, and the Atlanta Falcons, just to get rid of him, had to pay a lot of money to send him away. They actually had to pay, $7.5 million
To get away from him?
Well, that was his roster bonus that they were going to have to pay. So instead, they still have to pay. They still have to incur a dead cap hit of
40.
$40,000. $40
$40 million.
$40 million.
$40 million.
Thank you. Hey, sometimes Hudson doesn't like the numbers.
Yeah, $40 million.
They got to pay him $40. I don't know. Apparently, it's a lot. I don't know.
That's the largest dead cap hit for an NFL team in history by a lot.
Yeah, so $40 million that just can't go anywhere else, but to get rid, for the fact of getting rid of this guy.
So the team pays him that. That's
Right.
just like the rest of his salary and stuff.
Right. That's
Can you imagine your salary being more than that?
No.
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine that. Oddly enough, I can't.
Okay, well, none of us can.
Yeah. So it is crazy that they wanted to get rid of him that badly because I guess the irony of it is, or the reason they did want to get rid of him is because they'd have to pay him even more to keep him. But it's still a ridiculous amount of money to not pay or to pay to not have somebody.
Well, so do the Falcons have like a backup plan? Because they were supposed to have the guy who's going to the Browns, and now, he's there.
Yeah. Well, they are, what would you call it, a slow rebuild, Isaiah?
Very slow
Yeah.
now, yes. I would say the reason that they're able to do this is because they're in a position where they aren't really contending in the NFL, and so they're trying to kind of reset their whole franchise. So being able to send Matt Ryan away because he's a little bit older, and this is the year where they can kind of pay that much money because they aren't really trying to compile a roster of a bunch of really good players, just because they're not really in a place where they can compete. And so spending a lot of money on this isn't the end of the world for this team.
Right. There's if you're a Falcons fan, there's an understanding this year that you're not going to be very good because you can't afford to be very good because you're paying this guy so much. But even if you kept him, even though he's pretty good, you still wouldn't have been able to put a good enough team around him to probably be very competitive as far as winning the Super Bowl goes. And if you can't win the Super Bowl, might as well just suck and get a good draft pick.
See, I feel bad because, I guess I'd be more sensitive to where if the team wanted me gone so bad, but then to get so much money, I think I'd probably be okay.
I think, all righty. Indianapolis doesn't sound so bad after all.
It's like, sure, I'll go over there.
He's going to be fine wherever he was going to wind up. And
So the Falcons pay him the $40 million more, and then whatever the Colts are paying him, he gets that also?
yeah, I guess he just gets his salary either way because what he's getting paid, unless the Colts sign him to an extension, which have they?
No, they have not yet.
So unless they were to do that, he's still getting paid the amount of money, and I don't think he really cares where it comes from. He knows where he's got to report to work, and that's good enough for him.
Well, congratulations, Matt Ryan, for that. Sorry you had to move teams, but it looks like it's okay.
But now he gets to go to a team that maybe actually has a shot of being good, where Atlanta didn't. So
I don't know.
Isaiah's a Colts hater.
He does not like
this is a
anything
tough
with him.
AFC. It's going to be tough for them to compete in the AFC.
That's a good
team.
point. But at least now they have a chance versus if they had whoever else. So good for them. Good for them.
We would say rate and review the podcast. But let's be honest, that would probably hurt more than hell. The Worst of the Riot podcast.
I have a new study here of over 2,000 Americans talking about the names they give their pets.
Oh, and what it says about you?
Yeah, well, kind of. But I think the most interesting thing about this study is that over 60% of people admit in this study that they judge other people based off of the names they give their animals.
Like if they don't think it's good enough?
Yeah, if they find fault with it. So let's just let's have some open judgment right here. Let's open ourselves up to criticism. I'll go first.
All right.
Be as harsh as you want. My dog is named Zafira.
Which is from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
How do you guys judge me on that?
I love it.
Roast it.
There's no judgment because I think it's unique enough. The only thing I could
You
have...
don't think it's trying too hard?
No. I think the only problem would be no one would know how to spell it. Like, I must feel for your vet.
Yes.
Sure.
You're like, Zafira what? Like, the login or the check-in must be terrible.
You think it doesn't sound too sophisticated or anything like that?
I don't think so.
What do you
No,
think?
it's just a unique name. It just depends. It all depends on the dog. So until you meet the dog, that's when you can really judge if the name fits the dog. Like if you give it some exotic name and you have this super lame dog, then that's like obviously that doesn't really fit. So then I'm going to judge you. Or if you have like this super crazy dog and you give it this super simple name, then yet again I will judge you.
So it feels like you're judging the dog more than the person.
Not the owner.
Well, it's
and
a
you feel like the
combination.
dog can't live up to the name of that the person has given it.
It just seems as if the person didn't do enough research as to what their dog more than likely is going to be, or it doesn't really it's not like you're really giving a name that fits your dog. As long as the name fits, it doesn't matter what it is.
So who should we do next? Nikki and all of your pets, or Isaiah?
Well, for mine fits this. It says 1 in 4 Americans say they like to name their pets after food, and most of my pets are after candy or like some sort of dessert thing.
Yeah.
So I have cinnamon and sugar right now. I have Rolo, and that's candy, and then I have Mochi, which is my cat.
Cinnamon and sugar boys?
They're girls. They're sisters.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was going to judge. For some reason, I thought they were boys.
No, they're sisters.
Okay, but Mochi.
Such devoted sisters.
Mochi. That one, I could find a little bit of fault. That's also hard to spell.
No, it's not.
And I don't even know what it is.
It's
You don't know what mochi? You never tried mochi?
It's
I've
a dessert.
heard of it. I don't know what it is.
Well,
Yeah,
then
it's like
you
a
will.
little
I
spongy
associate
dessert.
Mochi more with your cat than I do whatever the food
What
is.
actually really is.
Right.
But dude, most of my dogs and cats in my history have been named after a food of sorts.
Yeah, they're pretty good names.
Yeah, they're all solid names, I would say.
And then Isaiah, we all know you have Jim the dog, Jim the Basset Hound. Mm-hmm. I normally, in here, it says that, what does it say? 36% give their dogs or animals human-style names. And the examples they give, if you use those, I would judge you
It's
harshly.
like Max, Charlie. That was some of
Even
mine.
those aren't the
Max.
worst, although they do sound just like little babies. But they give the examples they give are Jessica and Kevin. If you have a dog named Kevin,
That's a good Basset Hound name for a dog.
but Jim is great because it just, I don't know, it fits the idea. It does sound like a dog name, even though it's a person name.
But if you talk about your dog a lot, I mean, and Isaiah's in radio, so his dog's going to come up. The only problem is with human names, you guys don't always catch on that is not his roommate.
Yeah.
And so when you say, like, how could Jim poop in the bed?
Like, I don't know why he always comes in my room and pees in my bed.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, why is his roommate so crazy?
Yeah.
Like, I think that it takes a bit for people to realize, oh, no, that's his dog. It just has a human name.
That's a good point. That's the risk you run when you give your dog or any animal a more human style name. It can lead to confusion. Now, 37%, I'm sorry, 32% prefer the more traditional names like Fido and Fluffy. I've never heard of anybody. I know Fido is a typical dog name. I've never heard of an actual person naming their dog Fido. Have you?
Must be an older thing.
Yeah, that's what I think too. But I like it. Mm-hmm. I just.
Well, Zafira needs a brother or a sister.
There you go.
It just kind of feels like a generic way to refer to a dog as opposed to you would actually name your dog Fido.
Sure. Well, either way, like they say that whichever way you go with naming your pet, it does say something about you, and people like to judge that about you.
Yeah, so we seem less judgmental, but maybe that's just because we all know and are comfortable with each other's dogs' names. But you can text us in your animal's name. We'll see if it's judge-worthy. Yeah, right.
Send a picture, and I'll tell you if it fits your dog or not. As long as it fits the dog,
That's
all
fine,
that matters.
But don't judge us. Well, with yours, with Zafira, it says 38% would use inspiration like from movies, TV shows, books, or music.
There you go.
So that's another where you get some names from.
That's what I'm rolling with. It's too late to change it now. It'd be way too confusing for everybody.
It fits her.
There are two types of people in this world, and Hudson has a problem with both. You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Have you seen the McDonald's bringing back the Szechuan sauce? Am I saying that right?
Szechuan. Yep, that's it.
They are bringing it back, and some are saying that it is a brilliant COVID-era menu strategy, the latest in several brilliant moves McDonald's have made. Because think about it. It's like a big promotion for McDonald's. Some people get excited about it. Have you had the Szechuan sauce?
I've had it before.
Is it good?
It was okay. I bring back the Big Mac sauce. Like they used to have the Big Mac sauce in the little dipper containers.
Oh, yeah? You could do that?
That I liked, but
Are you not comfortable with asking them to do that for you?
I don't think they will.
Oh, I bet you.
Ask for
I don't know. Maybe not because they'd be like, whatever. But also maybe they'd be like, whatever, and they just do it.
I'll just ask for a little on the side.
Yeah. I bet you I don't know. Is there any McDonald's employees listening? Would you like to let us know?
I enjoyed
the
that.
hack to just get Big Mac sauce. But the Szechuan sauce, I don't know if I had it or not, but it's going to be back starting on March 31st. And the idea behind it is McDonald's can use it as a promotion thing without adding anything really extra for workers. Just another bin that they just have to grab sauces out of. And when you think about it, they've been kind of focusing on doing stuff like that. Particularly when you think about the TikTok hack menu that came out a while ago. What was the problem you had with that?
Well, the problem was they didn't assemble it for you.
Right.
So instead, you just bought everything, which you can do any other time and just put it together. They just don't have the workforce to bring on a new item that would require extra work.
Yeah.
So this is just bringing back the sauce. They throw it in the bag, which they'll probably forget to do anyways.
Right.
It's perfect.
They don't want to add any more complexity to, or any other extra steps that their workforce would have to go through, however limited it may be.
Well, it'd be like when they offered the newer McFlurry flavors or like the shakes and stuff.
Right.
Man, they could barely get that to work.
Right.
So don't add anything
But
else.
even then, like the Shamrock Shake, that's not it's just another shake. It's not actually really changing any kind of process. Nobody needs new training on a new thing to make. It's just you pull this lever and whatever. So it actually makes a lot of sense. Now, will people get as excited about the Szechuan sauce starting on March 31st? I guess we will have to wait and see. I don't know if it will be as exciting as it was the first time or two around when people...
Remember the first one?
Yeah, it was so hard to get.
The first one, it goes back to Rick and Morty. So it's like 2017, 2018. The first time it came out, they had like so little that people got mad at it.
Yeah, because it was instantly ran out.
Yeah, a year later or so, they came out and they had like normal amounts of it. So you should be fine to get it.
Maybe people had it back then, the people that did get it the first time, or it's been around twice now. Since its original heyday. And when they brought it back, maybe people got it and were like, oh, yeah, this isn't that good. Rick and Morty oversold it. Well, and so they aren't as excited
about it.
Yeah, so it's not as big of a deal.
The Szechuan sauce will be available only through the McDonald's app, though, where you can purchase up to 5 a la carte containers of the Szechuan sauce.
Now, that's kind of annoying, isn't it?
So it's not something that you would just get your free sauce with your nuggets. You can't choose it that way. You have to pay.
Can I say real quick that the McDonald's, maybe the Szechuan sauce might be the best sauce, and I don't know because I don't think I've had it. But compared to the other sauces they have, I don't think they're very good.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm really just saying is I don't like their honey mustard very much. And that's the sauce I always get. And it's just kind of disappointing.
Well, Ray and Laura were talking about how I really enjoyed when they would have the Big Mac dipping sauce. And I know you could just ask for extra sauce.
Yeah.
I just want it in the little dipping cup. So I want it all.
Why don't you bring your own? It'd be sustainable, too.
At that point.
You wouldn't be littering the environment. So double whammy.
On whatever sauce you like. But this one will be on the end of March, last day.
If you bring your own dipping cup, they don't even have an excuse to say no. They're like, we don't have a server for that. Oddly enough, look what I have in my hand right here.
I can do this.
Why are Hudson, Nikki, and Isaiah always eating on the show? The more we feed them, the less they talk. The Riot. Radio U.
This is crazy. This guy, he was stuck in a underground tunnel, storm pipe.
Storm drain.
He was stuck there for 2 days, and then he was finally rescued.
They say it's a miracle he got found because, like, he went in on his own. I don't understand why.
Why? There's no why. He just decided, I'm crawling down the storm drain. I don't know. I guess I've always been kind of tempted to, like, what's down there?
Well,
maybe you'll find some treasure or something.
He went too far, so then he could fit in the beginning, it was basically it got down to the point where they're saying it's the width of a pizza. And he had crawled into
pizza.
I know, that's probably all you'd want during the 2 days.
You know, he got stuck because he ate too much, maybe.
He did. Well, he got in and was fine. It was kind of going down deeper and then got stuck at a low enough point to where they say it was a miracle that anybody heard him. He was screaming for help, and it took about 50 firefighters, police officers, and rescue personnel, which is a northeast part of San Francisco called Antioch, and they were able to rescue him.
Why did it take so many? It was such a small thing.
I think it was just so hard. He was stuck so deep.
So how did they Like, what do you do?
I don't know.
How does adding more people to the equation?
Well, okay, they stand around. Yeah. They're not in the storm
It took 50 people. It was 2 guys and then 48 standing around.
You know, you're ruining the rescuers' moments. Okay, they worked hard.
I think no, you're right. We should include all of them. They were all present. Only 2 of them held the rope or whatever, and 1 climbed down the ladder. But they're all integral.
All 50 people, they said that, passerbyers heard him yelling, reported him to 911, and he was hard to get to. And at first, they just weren't even sure if someone was actually down there.
Yeah.
And they kept working on it, and they got him.
This is, it's just one of those things where you just be worried that he's stuck down there, and then the next person goes down to save him, and then they get stuck, and then they continue. It's just more and more people just keep getting stuck. So I guess it is a miracle that did not happen.
So he says he was trapped for around 48 hours before they heard him and were able to come. It took a few hours to get him out. He doesn't have any other injuries except being a bit dehydrated.
Wow. What I don't know. It's one of those things you imagine about doing and then never would actually do. That's one of those things. I would love to go down. In my mind, it's always like, what's in a storm pipe? Mm-hmm. I'd like to go down in the drainage system.
Maybe he was filming it, or he just was one of those explorers.
That's a great point. He probably was somebody just doing it for YouTube, but maybe he'll get a lot of views for this.
You've made it all the way to the end of the Worst of the Riot. This show only exists because of support from listeners like you. Find out more and help out at RadioU.com/donate.